What is going on, peasants? My name is JB and we are back here today for yet another draft analysis here on Pokemon Sword and Shield, this time for the IBL. Now, a few things worth noting. You can probably tell when I'm recording this based on the background, if you remember that. I'm recording this at 5:30 a.m. on the 2nd of April, and I still can't change my background. Like, it doesn't really matter, but it's just like, at what point does it stop being a funny April Fool's joke and it starts being like kind of dumb? Like, I just want to change my background. Whatever. It's fine. It doesn't really matter. I guess it does, like, because I'm still talking about it, but we're just gonna ignore that for now. So anyway, we're here in the IBL, which is a league ran by my good buddy Dark Devil 26, aka Brennan. So shout outs to him, and also shout outs to all the other coaches. Go be sure to check their channels out down in the description below. We got a lot of homies in this league. We got Dorian, we got Lamar, we got Brendan, as like I said, and some Platinum Howler, and a few other people who I'm pretty excited to play. A lot of people I actually haven't played, which is kind of why I'm kind of excited to be here. Like, there's a lot of people I haven't played. Socks in this league as well. But yeah, it should be a fun time. Now, originally, this was not my team. This is our boy Cowpat's team. Now, for those of you who don't know, Cowpat is a very good friend of mine. He builds a lot of my teams with me. He's one of the best players, probably the best player I know. And he was the person who originally had this team and originally drafted it. However, he could not figure out how to make land timer work, and like, he wanted someone else, like, that basically he still wanted to be able to build with the team. So that's why I was like recommended to get the slot, and yeah, I took the slot. So I wasn't originally going to be in the season. Brendan asked me, but I don't know, I didn't. I had like other commitments, but when my boy Calpad asked me to take over the team, I was like, you know what, I got you, bro. I'm gonna take over this team. And also because it's a really good team. So yeah, whoever used to have this team, I probably would have taken it over, but the fact that it was Pat is like, yeah, okay, I'm gonna take your team over, and we're still gonna build with it, and we're still gonna do some cool things with this squad. So let's go ahead and go over the team. Now, my man Pat had pick 15 out of 16, so pretty late pick, but hey, he was able to get just a stupid team. So you know what, it's cool. I think we're okay with it. And yeah, let's go ahead and see what this man managed to get at 15, number 15 overall. I guess we should go over the rules of this league. So, not to blow your minds, because Gmax Pokemon are allowed in this league, and you can hold any item you want. So it's not like APA where you're forced to hold a Pokeball, and there's no restrictions on when you Dynamax. Basically, it's free Gigantamax with no restrictions. So you can do whatever the hell you want with your Gmax. Obviously, you have to draft the Pokemon that has a Gigantamax form. You can't Dynamax with anything, but yeah, Gmaxes are allowed with any item they want. And with the number 15 pick out of 16 coaches, Calpat was able to get his hands on Gmax Charizard. How is this man able to get this mon at pick number 15? This mon is broken, especially with the fact that it is allowed to run heavy duty boots. Now, in the APA, where they force you to hold a Pokeball, they still ban this thing, and I don't really agree with that. The fact that it has a hold, can't hold boots, but the fact that they can hold boots and was around at pick 15 is absurd, and I'm not gonna question it. I'm just gonna, reap the benefits of it. So Charizard's ability wise, it gets solar power, which is what you're gonna probably be running a lot of if you manage to draft the full sun team. And spoiler alert, we have a Sunsetter a little bit later on, and that's not all we got. So yeah, we got a nice little Gmax Zard here. It's gonna do a lot of things. It does, of course, have the fabled flying coverage that will allow you to boost your speed, obviously get speed boost with max airstream, and then just be hitting even harder with sun boosted, solar power boosted attacks. So it's probably more of a special attacker, but it can run physical sets as well if you want to. It does get Dragon Dance and stuff like that, and it can boost its attack with Earth Break with max Knuckle. But yeah, just fantastic coverage, and it is just a wall breaker to end all wall breakers with solar power and sun and Gmax moves and Gmax Wildfire, which I don't know exactly what it does. Okay, so I don't know exactly what Gmax Wildfire does. I'm really not sure. I think it just activates like fire spin on the ground, but it's not like exactly fire. Like, it doesn't trap, but it's like a fired hazard that lasts for 5 turns. Like, so like anything touching the floor takes like, or touching the ground takes like fire spin damage, if I'm not mistaken. I don't exactly know how it works, but it hits like a truck. Unfortunately, it can't automatically set up its own sun, so that's something we will have to pick up a little bit later. And of course, we are, spoiler alert, able to pick that up a little bit later. So next up on the agenda, so Pat basically had a wheel pick, and he's like, you know what, one Kanto starter isn't enough, let's go ahead and get 2. So he decided to grab Blastoise on the wheel. This thing, you guys seen me using in PTL, it gets Shell Smash now. That is stupid. And it already has just phenomenal stats all around, just being very, very bulky, very fast. I believe it is the fastest Shell Smash one, if I'm not mistaken. Let me just go ahead and confirm that. Shell Smash speed, yep, fastest Shell Smasher this side of the Mississippi, or any side of the Mississippi. So yeah, Blastoise, very good, very bulky water type, fantastic coverage as well. It does have access to rapid spin, so it can still be a very solid bulky water, bulky pivot, can toxic stuff, and yeah, just great coverage all around with like dark pulse, aura sphere, flash cannon, stuff like that. It can, you know, set up the sweep, or it could just, you know, be a very bulky water type, and I very much am looking forward to use it now. G-Max Charizard and Blastoise probably would have sold me on this team alone, and the rest of it as a whole. But this Pokemon, this next Pokemon was the Pokemon who's like, I think I'm most excited to use it of everything, even over G-Max Zard. And next up, Calpat, after, you know, going all the way back up the order and then all the way back down 15 more picks, was able to get Haxorus in round 3. I don't understand it, man. I don't know what the people who were in this league were thinking, but Haxorus going round 3 is stupid. One of the better mold breaker Pokemon in this generation. I believe it and Excadrill, the only 2 Pokemon that currently have access to it, something like that, man. I don't know. Let's confirm that while we're here, because we're using Showdown. I mean, okay, there's a few. There's Basculin, Sock Throw, Hawlucha, Pangoro. So there's a few mold breaker Pokemon, but as well as Excadrill and Drillbur. But yeah, Pangoro or Haxorus is probably the best, I would say. Basculin's technically the fastest, Hawlucha's fast, but yeah, you know, it's a very good Pokemon. It is an incredible wall breaker with base 147 attack. Can also just set up and win with Dragon Dance if it's able to get off. It's a very good Choice Scarf. It's a very good Choice Band user. It's just an incredibly hard-hitting Pokemon. And honestly, it's one of the dragon types I've wanted to use the most this generation, so I'm very excited to be able to use it. Having access now to close combat and first impression just makes this thing, you know, that much harder hitting. Just such hard hitting priority. Like, band and first impression is nothing to fuck around with. And then having access to close combat just to, you know, hit things slightly harder than Earthquake maybe. So that's really cool. And then, you know, being able to just be an all-around just menace offensively. I love this Pokemon. I think it's going to be a phenomenal member of the squad. Now, so after the next, you know, Will pick, and it came right back to Calpat, he's like, you know what? 2 Kanto starters isn't enough. Let's go ahead and make it all 3. He got Venusaur too. So we have all 3 Kanto starters, and maybe some of you know where this is going. Hopefully a few of you can figure it out. So yeah, he got a... Oh, also something worth mentioning, because, you know, we may or may not have Sun for Venusaur, or for Charizard and Venusaur. And, you know, like, Venusaur got Weather Ball, which we'll get to. Something else. Blastoise also has Wither Ball. Spot clicking, Shell Smash, or Earthquake to hit a Steel type? Nah, dude. I need to get a fucking Sun boosted Weather Ball Blastoise kill. Like, I need that in my life. So that is going to be our one goal this entire season, to get a Weather Ball off in Sun with Shell Smash Blastoise. That is our goal. Now back to Venusaur. Venusaur is just an incredible Chlorophyll sweeper. Probably, I think, is also the fastest Pokemon that gets Chlorophyll. Fuck it, we've done it for everything else. Let's just we're committed at this point. Okay, that's a lie. Leafeon is faster, and so is Whimsicott, but it is by far better than these two at being a Chlorophyll sweeper. Just because it has a massive special attack stat. I mean, Leafeon has a really good physical attack stat, but it's a Leafeon. It gets like no coverage. Venusaur has amazing coverage now. It has Earth Power, obviously any grass type. But one click some grass Rico, sure. Sludge Bomb, and then of course the big one, Sun boosted Weather Ball. So it has a base 100, I believe, fire type attack, and base 100 fire type attack in the Sun with Chlorophyll. Having access to growth as well, being able to boost a special attack, or I guess physical attack technically as well, by 2. Oh, this thing is just another ridiculously powerful wall breaker, and just another incredibly hard-hitting Pokemon that, hey man, like, why not just go ahead and get all 3 fucking Kanto starters if you can. Now, alright, so the order goes all the way back up, 14 picks, and all the way back down 15 more picks. So 29 more picks go by. We're in round 5 at this point. And my man Pat somehow manages to get his hands on motherfucking Snorlax in round 5. Like, I don't know what's happening, man. I got no words to explain it at this point. Some of you could probably figure out the theme that Pat went for with his teaming at this point. And yes, he got the thing. If you can figure it out, yes, it's on the team. So yeah, we have a Snorlax here. Snorlax is one of my favorite Pokemon to use in draft format. Immunity, Gluttony, and Thick Fat are all very useful abilities. Probably though Thick Fat, considering we will have Sun that you know, other people will probably be made in bringing their fire types. You know, Thick Fat can help out with that regard, and also, you know, take ice pressure off of taking hits from ice types off pressure, taking pressure from taking ice type hits off of Blastoise, and, you know, having that switch in for Haxorus and Venusaur. Holy shit, that was hard to get through. But Snorlax is just one of the best mons in the format, period, in Draft League. Like, it has so much stuff it can do. Curse is one of the most disgusting sets ever. I hate playing it, so I don't have to play it. Even better. Body Slam is a good move to have. Facade's also really nice on this thing. It has access to Darkest Lariat now, which can prevent or help you know, play against opposing setup. You know, can still run crap like Toxic and stuff like that. It's just a very, very, very well balanced, very phenomenal Pokemon, and one that can pretty much fit in any team and come to pretty much any game. Now, next up, he already has 4 out of the 6. Let's go ahead and make it 5 out of the 6. He has Espeon, and now it should be pretty obvious. And if the title wasn't obvious, I'm already know what I'm gonna title this video. It's gonna be ... in quotation marks. So hopefully that I'm sure that would probably give it away. But yeah, we also have an Espeon here. Espeon provides us a really solid speed tier base 110, good abilities, I guess, in Synchronize and Magic Bounce. Magic Bounce is probably the more useful of the two, but this thing is a very solid special attacker, very reliable, like just fast Pokemon. Ridiculous special attack, okay covered with Dazzling Gleam, Gas Knot, Psychic, and then like Shadow Ball. It's okay, but the main thing about this Pokemon is it gets Magic Bounce, and can bounce back hazards, it can bounce back just, you know, anything, like status moves, like it's lit. It does have Wish, although it's not the best user of Wish with only base 65 HP. I wish it had 95 HP, that'd be nice. But it does have access to Heal Ball, so that's something also nice to worth pointing out. And yeah, just an all-around very solid, decently hard-hitting Pokemon that, you know, should be able to provide a nice little niche for the squad. And now next up is one of 2 changes I made to this team post-draft. The only ground type on this team was a Alolan Dougie, and I just wasn't feeling it. Like, if it was regular Dougie, or if I had another ground type along with a Alolan Dougie, probably would have kept it, but like, I don't really like it. I'm gonna go ahead and make a couple slight changes to the team. So I dropped a Alolan Dougie, and I was able to pick up Golurk because it was free. And Golurk does a couple things. One, it gives me more bulky ground type, which for me personally, if I'm only gonna have one ground type on my team, I'd rather have a bulkier one. And it also gives me a Ghost, and Ghost is just a phenomenal typing all around. Just, you know, not being hampered by pursuit users anymore, and just, you know, Golurk itself being a very hard-hitting Pokemon, having access to Close Combat and Darkest Lariat now as well as the ability Iron Fist is phenomenal. It just has a ton of punching moves along with the elemental punches and shadow punches and stuff like that. Good Stealth Arc setter, and has no guard as well, so if you want to run like Stone Edges or dynamic punches, it can do that as well. Yeah, very solid all around offensive Pokemon. Fantastic coverage, and definitely welcome member to the squad. Next up, it's a Cowpat team, so you know it's a Yeet Squad team, so you know there had to be a horse on it. We went ahead and got Galarian Rapidash next. Galarian Rapidash it's okay. Pastel is its only real ability. It's also a very, you know, solid speed tier base 105. It gives me a fairy type, and it was like there weren't a lot of fairies left. The only fairy left, I'm pretty sure, like besides like NFV stuff at this point, even is like alchemy. There's not a lot of fairies left at all. So having just a really offensive one is pretty nice. Decently fast one as well. Is it the fastest fairy? I'm not gonna, nope. What's the cut? Boom, nailed it. Don't even need to look it up. Eat dicks. But yeah, really solid coverage as well on this this here horse. We have Healing Wish, which is just nice for stuff like Blastoise, Venusaur, Snorlax, all of our setup sweepers. Does have access to Baton Pass, which Dry Pass is allowed. Has agility if it wants to set up on its own. Does have Dual Dance capabilities as well with Swords Dance. Flare Ups and Headbutt, high horsepower. Low Kick is nice to have for steals. Both of those actually are nice to have for steals. Wild Charge is decent coverage. Throat Chop is also decent coverage. It's a pretty solid, like, you know, hard-hitting fairy type. It's more of a physical fairy type. And hey man, if there's one thing you should know about the Yeet Squad at this point, is that we like our horses, so you already know it's gonna put in work. And now next up we have 3 Pokemon left, and you know Cowpa had to do it to him. You know he had to go ahead and just fill out the whole red team. Yeah, we have Pikachu, and I'm not happy about it. I don't want to use Pikachu if I'm being perfectly honest, but Pat made me keep Pikachu, so I guess we're using Pikachu. I like our Pikachu, our Gmax Pikachu in APA. This Pikachu is allowed to hold the Light Ball, which does double Pikachu's attack and special attack stat to 110 and 100 respectively, 90 base speed. It's nothing to laugh at. It does still have fucking 50 defenses, or yeah, terrible defenses and HP, but if it has a really good speed tier 1 game, like, you can't laugh at a Pikachu because it can do a lot of damage, dude. And it does have an okay move pull. It has something like Nasty Plot, which I don't think it'll ever be able to get off, but if it is able to pull it off, that'd be hilarious. Decent like mixed coverage as well. Like, it gets stuff like Body Slam, Discharge, Extreme Speed, Endeavor, Fake Out is something that it gets. Nasty Plot, like I said, Play Rough is coverage I did not know what have. It has Surf, Thunder Punch. It gets a fucking Volt Tackle, which coming off a Light Ball boosted, 110 attack stat is nothing to laugh at. Wish exists. Like, this is a pretty damn okay Pokemon. And listen, if it comes to 3 games, then that's 3 games. I get to say I brought a Pikachu to in a legitimate draft league. So, hey, that's pretty cool. So next up, we have all these cool weather abusers, and we don't really have our weather yet. So Cowpat was able to get Torkoal in round 10, which if I was in this draft, I at least would have considered taking it so he wouldn't have been able to get it, but no one did that, thankfully. And now that I have this team, I'm really glad no one did it. So Drought obviously sets up Sun for Charizard, Venusaur, and yes, Blastoise, because we will be running Weather Ball Blastoise at some point. Do not fucking doubt me. But Torkoal is extremely underrated as just a bulky support Pokemon for the rest of his team. Its physical defense is so high, you can pretty much always get away with running it Spit F and just having it just chew various hits. Obviously, Drought is the big one, setting up the Sun, and you can slap a Heat Rock on this boy and get 8 turns of Sun instead of 5. And then, but you can also do stuff like run, what's it called, Heavy Duty Boots if you just want to run like a bulky Rapid Spin variant. It is our second Stealth Rocket. It's our only other Stealth Rocket, which maybe is a problem. I don't really care. I think hazards are really overrated in this generation, personally. I mean, if you have like great hazard setters, like something like good lead hazard setters, or like a Roserade or something like that, then yeah, hazards are good. But I'm not the biggest fan of like just slow Stealth Rockers in this generation. But if you can get Rocks up, you can get Rocks up. I don't think they're super necessary, at least on Wi-Fi. That's just me ramblings. I guarantee you people disagree with that. But yeah, Torkoal's really good. Like, it has such high physical defense, you can just let Body Press on it. And then, like I said, it does get Rapid Spin if you're running like a Heavy Duty Boots variant. Toxic and Willow are always nice to have. Solar Beam if you want to run that. Shell Smash if you want to get frisky. But yeah, really solid, really underrated Pokemon outside of just being Sun. Like, it does a lot more than that. And you guys will see that as the season continues. Spoiler alert, I've already put in my week 1 in. Torkoal put in a ton of work. And last but not least was the other change I made to the team. This was originally Toxapex, because you have to have a tier 1 to fit the requirements, and the only tier 1s available were Gothitelle and the Pokemon that we ended up picking up, which was Hawlucha. So yeah, between Toxapex, Gothitelle, and Hawlucha, those are the only 3 tier 1s that I had access to, and no one was going to trade for Pex. Like, no one wants Pex, so I decided to just drop it, and if someone wants to pick it up, feel free. I have like 48 things that can beat a Pex. I don't really care about it, so if you want to do it, feel free. Like, it's going to be other people's problems. I'm not scared of Pex, personally. But yeah, we got Hawlucha pretty much simply because we wanted to replace the speed tier of Alolan Dougie that we dropped, and it does give me a fighting type, which we previously did not have, and it also gives me another bird, like, which isn't the greatest, but it's not the worst. We have a lot of ice switch-ins, we have a lot of electric switch-ins as well, so I'm not super worried about that in that aspect. But it does give me a really solid speed stat, decent attack stat, and some pretty good abilities as well. It does give me another Mold Breaker one, which I completely forgot. Like, yeah, so we have two very good Mold Breaker users. We have Unburden, obviously, which is the big draw to Hawlucha, because you can run Unburden acrobatic sets. So you can run like wider close combat nowadays, or we actually have quite a few ways of sneakily setting up terrain. I'll let you guys figure those out. I don't want to like spoil them and give them away, because we do have a few ways of setting terrain on our team, and even a couple outside of the obvious Charizard. So we got a couple tricks up our sleeve if we do need to run terrain with Lucha. So we got some tricks. I'll just say that. But yeah, it's a really solid offensive Pokemon. Can set up in a litany of ways with, White Herb sets, can run just Swords Dance sets, it can run, Tailwind U-turn sets, or just Tailwind in general, Throat Chop, decent coverage, Poison Chat for fairies, Iron Head as well for fairies. So it's a very solid Pokemon, and definitely not something you can sleep on, despite Tapu's not really existing and me not having any auto terrain. I think it can come to games, and I think it'll be actually pretty fun to try to make other Hawlucha sets work. Now, is it the best tier 1? Absolutely not. But for what we have and what I had access to, it's the best tier 1 that I could get. So hopefully we are able to make do with it and pull off some pretty cool stuff. it is another defogger as well, so I guess that's something worth pointing out. So yeah, that is the team. Let me know what you guys think. I think Calpat did an amazing job drafting this team. I don't know how he was able to get like Charizard at pick 15, Haxorus at pick 15 in round 3, Snorlax at round 5 with his team. Like, this is such a good team. This is one of my favorite teams I think I've ever had access to. So big shout out to Calpat. He's again one of the best people in the community. So it really sucks that he doesn't get to use this team, and he's a very good player. So it really does suck that he doesn't get to use this team. But at least he will be able to use this team, you know, to build with. And we play in this season for him, man. This is supposed to be his team, like I've said a million times. So we doing this for Calpat. And yeah, be sure to go check out all the other coaches in the description down below. Like I said, we have a lot of homies in this league, and it should be a really fun time. And I will see you all from a week 1 game next week. I believe these videos normally go up on Sundays or Saturdays. I'm not really sure, but I'm gonna upload this a week from whenever the regular season starts. So be sure to be on the lookout for that video a week from the day. So thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you on the next one. Peace out.